Union Dock. Okay, so I'm done.
7 o'clock on Tuesday, June 21st. I'll call the meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. First item of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Marie, would you like to lead us? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Ben. Three of the selectmen are here present tonight. Sarah Muska and Charlie Nordell will not be joining us tonight. Charlie's on vacation and Sarah has a conflict. The reason we're hosting the special meeting tonight is just to move some pieces of business that really shouldn't wait, but there's nothing on here that I think is particularly contentious or this is really left foot, right foot stuff. So start off with approval of the meeting minutes. All right. I know they're ready. We just didn't get them in the package in time there already. We'll move on. We'll postpone those. There's nothing to postpone. They're not listed. Jen took them off, but she didn't take the listing. I see what she did. Is there any public participation? Okay. I have no communications. On to resignations. Narda Nato, a member of the Diversity Council, has expressed her intentions to resign. So can I have a motion to accept her resignation?
Motion to accept the resignation of Narda Nato from the Diversity Council with regret.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We do have
Not on the agenda.
yeah, we're gonna hold that one for next time. We do have a replacement for Narda who's expressed some interest, so we're just waiting for paperwork to catch up. But I understand Gabby Resto, the young lady who presented at the diversity and inclusion seminar, is interested in the seat. She's very bright and will add quite a bit to that group. I'm glad to see her step forward. So that application should be in front of us on the 7th. We have a request from Laura Harney to be named to the BMX Skate Park Committee.
Motion to appoint Laura Harney to the BMX Skate Park Committee, regular member for a term expiring September 16, 2023.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? Great. How do you vote? You said aye? Okay. All in favor? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. The next step in our process to move forward with the disbursement of the South Road properties and to reunite the underlying property with the homes that rest on it is to do an 824 referral. This is a statutory process that is done anytime a municipality is going to assume, dispose of, or transfer municipal property. And in this case, that is what we're doing. It was debated whether or not this had to be done because this was already sent to the Planning and Zoning Commission at the outset of the subdivision. So it was dubious as to whether or not this had already satisfied the 824 referral. But upon further conversation, we have done everything exactly right throughout this process so far. So why would we say we're close enough at this point? Why not just do the 824 referral just to keep everything nice and tight? So on page 2 of the attachment, there is a
Proposed action item.
yes, thank you.
Board hereby moves to accept the favorable Connecticut General Statute 8-24 report from the Planning and Zoning Commission to convey 3.9 acres of town-owned land known as South Road subdivision, to grant the conveyance of the aforementioned town-owned land and to authorize the first selectman to execute the deeds necessary to effectuate the conveyance.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? The next step after this is going to be a meeting with the residents. So we'll talk about encumbrances and the like, and then we'll talk about the process to actually give them the land. We are like on the 5-year line.
There's a lot of work that went into this. You guys did a great
It's
job.
been years. Thank you. But I'm very excited to wrap this up for them, for us. We shouldn't be landlords. They should have a right to their own property. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next 5 action items are restatements of the Mission Square retirement governmental documents. I'll turn it over to the chairman of the pension board and to the finance director for any comments or explanation they would like to provide.
So these aren't the actual contracts, pension, like,
They're not the
Right.
appendices.
yeah, they're not the appendices. Thank you. That we bargain with the units. This is the actual, just the plan, the kind of the nuts and bolts of it, both for clerical and for the town bargaining unit, I guess it is, I don't know, just general.
Yeah, so this is, we have to update the town's pension document every 10 years. Mission Square has to adopt their 401(k) plans every so often. This is the town adopting updates that they made to their plans. So this is just keeping us in step with them as they keep their filings current with the IRS. Amy, is that right?
Correct.
It's sort of just pro forma. I mean, I think I'm sure you read it all.
So the first piece is just how the process works and why we're doing it. That's item 1, but the rest are things we would need action on, because one is accepting the actual plan document, and then the other is the adoption and the resolution for both everybody other than clerical, which is police, dispatch, DPW, anybody who has a hybrid and has a 401(k) component, this pertains to. And then the last 2 pieces, the 10-0037 are clerical, and the only reason they have a different plan is because they vest in 3 years, everybody else vests in 5.
And they're on a straight DC.
Yes.
For clarification, Amy, you said most people invest in 5 years. I thought that was state statute driven. Is that changed?
No, these are just negotiated terms. Their money vests 100% immediately, the share they're putting in. But
Okay.
on the town side, that's a negotiated item. And clerical negotiated 3 years when they switched to their new bodies after 2018, becoming just DC participants. Those people no longer have any portion of a DB. The only other group that has that is dispatchers.
Yep.
From way back in 2007. And everybody else is part DB, part DC, also known as hybrid, police, and DPW.
Okay.
And they're all 5 years vesting.
So that's why the difference in the 1-year percentages is because it was contracted.
Yep.
Just wanted clarification. Thanks.
So I think the motion would be a motion to accept the plan, accept and approve the plans. We can take them individually. Amy, you need a separate motion on each of these, right?
I think you should. And I think you want to set the plan doc first, number 2, and then the adoption agreements and the resolutions.
Oh, are you talking about the restatement? No, the restatement is just an advisory thing.
Right.
So we're gonna do, is there any action on 9A1?
No, that was just explanatory, telling you what the process was and why we were going through it,
Yeah. Oh, there's-
which you summarized very well. They've got to update their plan because 401 plans have to be done every 6 years. And when we went to them in 19, we adopted their plan, and now it's time for them to renew it.
So are you saying that these 2 plans that are identified as 9A2 and 9A3 have to be approved, then the consent form?
I would adopt 9.2 because that's the actual core plan doc. And then 3 and 4 are the adoption agreement specific to our DC plan for everybody other than clerical. And then number 4 is the actual resolution accepting the plan doc.
Yep.
And then 5 and 6 are essentially the same thing, but just for clerical.
Are we gonna have to read this resolution out, do you think, or we can just refer to it?
I think you can just refer to it.
All right, so you want to start with, what do you want to do?
982.
Yeah.
Or just take them in line?
From 2-1. You can make a motion. if you want.
Oh, I can?
Yeah, I'm sharing this one.
Make motion to accept the Mission Square Retirement Government Money Purchase Plan document and the Mission Square Retirement Governmental Money Purchase Plan Adoption Agreement for the town of East Windsor Defined Contribution Plan 10-0027.
Second,
Second that.
discussion.
Just for clarification, there's been no changes to this document since last time it was presented, right?
There was a couple clerical things and it talked about it in that actual process, but nothing, we're not changing anybody's benefits.
Okay,
Yeah, it's just catching up with changes. in federal law.
I didn't see anything that stood out. When I first, when I didn't read it, tired because I didn't have to. So they picked up the package.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimously.
Make a motion to accept the town of East Windsor, Connecticut resolution for Plan 10-0027. It's like page 113 or something.
We got it, number 10. It's 984.
I thought it was 37.
So we're still working on 27. So we just did the adoption agreement and the plan.
Okay.
So let's accept 983 and then approve the resolution in 984.
I did the voted on 2 and 3. I did as one motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. All right, so then restate your motion, please.
The current one. I would like to make a motion that we accept the town of East Windsor, Connecticut resolution for Plan 10-0027.
This one.
Second.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, carries.
Make a motion, we accept Mission Square Retirement Governmental Money Purchase Plan Adoption Agreement for Town of East Windsor Defined Contribution Plan Clerical 10-0037.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I will do the final one. Town of, I make a motion to accept the Town of East Windsor, Connecticut resolution for Plan 10-0037.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Carries unanimously. I don't have a prepared select.
Thank you.
We can't do tax refunds tonight.
We don't have tax refunds.
Yes, I'm
No, we do. Yeah, yeah.
Sarah's not here. Who's going to make the motion?
Are we on the tax refund?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we accept the tax refund in the amount of $794.91.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I'll just do a brief rundown of some recent activities. I don't have a prepared report tonight. The East Windsor Athletic Club held their annual golf tournament fundraiser on September 4th, and a shock to everyone, I still didn't win. On the 6th, we hosted on the 6th and the 16th, we held veterans commemoration ceremonies for the Korean War and Vietnam War era servicemen and women who live in the town of East Windsor. On both nights, Lieutenant Governor joined us for the ceremony and actually emceed it. I thought she did a terrific job, and I thought that the participants appreciated her being there and the effort on her part. That's all a bunch of personal stuff. On the 14th, I had the opportunity to represent the town at a joint forum held by CCM and the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving, talking about use of ARPA dollars. This was an in-person event down in New Haven, probably had 40 or so people at it. And it was actually really great for the networking aspect of it. One of the things to come out of that is, I can't remember if it's Amy and I or Melissa and I, but one of the two of them and I will be meeting with the CEO of the Hartford Foundation in the next couple of weeks to talk about opportunities to raise East Windsor's profile, which is interesting. I performed a number of business visits over the last couple of weeks. I visited with Geisler's, Nutmeg Rides, Polanders. Those are the loose highlights for the time being. Right?
Yeah, I had no meetings assigned to me over the course of the last 2 weeks, but I did want to say I was honored to be able to attend both of the functions that Governor Susan Bicewicz, Jason Bells put on for the Vietnam vets and the Korean vets, and I was glad I was able to be a part of that. So I just want to thank you.
Okay, I had 2 meetings since our last meeting, planning and zoning. Really not a lot going on there to mention. They're going through a couple applications. So I guess there's that. It was a pretty quick meeting. Broadbrook Fire Department had their meeting. They're on track. They're typical around 70 calls a month. Their budget's on track. They think that their new truck is on track. So, well, Jay was just want to make sure that like everything was actually signed after all the trouble they went through to get everything. So they're still kind of sweating that, waiting for the paperwork to come through. So, but the one thing that came out of that meeting was a request by Nick Mascata, one of the commissioners. He had been recently to a conference and and attended the workshops that were surrounding like strategic planning and long-term planning for fire services and public safety in general. And he thought it would be a good idea that we have a committee or a commission put together that kind of looks at that for the town of East Windsor, from not just the fire department, but emergency services and ambulance services and everything from soup to nuts, including locations and what they would, what the facilities would look like, and what they need for the next 25 years or 30 years, basically. So not a 5-year plan, like a 25 or 30-year plan is what he was talking about. So I said to him to put together, a quick little, presentation of some sort, and to see about getting on our agenda to talk to us about it, to see where they wanted to go with it. So maybe we'll see that in the future.
Any other public participation? Seeing none, we will not have an executive session, so a motion to adjourn would be in order.
Take a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.